The Snapmaker U1 and the Bambu Lab H2D are two very different machines, but both claim to save you time and money in completely different ways. The U1 has shaken up the 3D printing community with its multi-head, low-waste color system. The H2D brings next-level dual nozzle technology, AI monitoring, and a massive ecosystem behind it. So today, we're going head-to-head. Do we have a favorite? Let's compare print quality, speed, build volume, ease of use, waste, features, some pros and cons, and just overall value. So buckle up and maybe you'll have a favorite by the end of this video.
Now there's no universal best printer. Everyone will have different requirements for their 3D printers. I've had some questions about which printer we like best, and I know it comes down to the overall current purpose of the project at hand. Honestly, we love them all for different reasons. Justifiably so, money just might be a concern for you, or even size, purpose, and your experience. Beginners might not go all in before they know whether or not this is something that they'll stick with. Another factor might be location, or how loud your printer is. If we need multicolor prints, then we'll use the Snapmaker with over 300 hours. It is our favorite go-to for almost everything over 2 colors. It has little to zero waste aside of the prime tower, but even that can be minimized. Strangely so, I've saved every tower since we started printing on this machine just in case. I wanted to represent the near zero waste produced. There are some things about this printer that we think are a bit weird, but overall, I'll just say it now, it is certainly our favorite multicolor printer. When using an AMS from standard multicolor printers, the changes can create equal amounts of waste as your model nearly creates double the cost and stretching out the time it takes to completion.
The U1 requires you to load each spool up, then load each print head, and send your model via your computer. The magic is watching the quick print heads swap and snap into place with impressive accuracy. By using this method of color change, we also decrease the print time because there's no purging, just priming. The only waste, aka poop, is produced during the initial load and unload procedures. So every new print gets a poop, you get a poop, and you get a poop.
And you get a poop, and you get a poop.
That's enough.
Sorry.
Speed has become a huge factor, and the Snapmaker U1 toolhead speed is 500 millimeters with 20,000 millimeter acceleration. That's about the industry standard. The max nozzle temperature is 300 degrees Celsius. The build plate is slightly larger than the standard 256 millimeter Bambu Lab X and P series with 270 millimeter cubed. Not too shabby.
If we require any prints with just 2 colors and we don't want any waste, we can load up the H2D and mass produce plates of orcas and tigers and zebras and pandas and insects and anything else you can think of. Let's know some of the other 2 color models that you might be able to think of and write them down in the comments for us. It has a larger print volume that comes in at 350 by 320 by 325 millimeters, but that isn't entirely accurate either. Since there are 2 nozzles, the left nozzle can't reach to the full right side of the plate and vice versa. There are workarounds though by just filling both nozzles with the same material and or color. The reality of print size is 325 by 320 by 325 for single nozzle printing and 320 by 325 for dual nozzle printing. You might be thinking what happened to my CRYOGRIP K2 if you've seen pictures of it. It was 350 millimeter cubed and I actually loved it until I didn't. This might upset some CRYOGRIP folks here, but this printer wasn't ready for prime time in my opinion. I've had 2 of them now, and one lasted for 6 months before serious issues arose, and the second one lasted for 4 months. I just can't keep fixing these printers and chasing ailments. So we moved on. Just a little side note though, we buy through Best Buy, and with an upgraded membership, you have more time to dissect, repair, and return those anomalous 3D printer ailments.
The Bambu Lab H2D printer allows for a hotter nozzle at 350 degrees Celsius versus 300 on the U1, and the heat bed maxing out at 120 degrees versus 100 again for the U1. The max travel speed of this gigantic tool head is an impressive 1,000 millimeters per second, where I remind you that the U1 had 500 millimeters per second and also 20,000 acceleration. The chamber temperature is maintained at a peak of 65 degrees. The H2D is a very quiet printer also. The decibels come in at a maximum of 56 decibels. And the Snapmaker comes in at a maximum of 63.3 decibels. Another reason why we strayed away from the K2 Plus was it had a unicorn nozzle and it created a crazy amount of purge waste. We began to print with concern, and that's just never good in this field. So the almost worry-free H2D was our choice, and I must say we're glad it was. I can still print larger objects such as helmets with no real loss. The H2D has so many primetime features aside of dual colors with AI monitoring, error detection, 1080p 30 FPS camera, automatic temperature adjustment, visual and audio notifications, initial layer inspection, a massive community, and an amazing ecosystem with Maker World.
Yeah, it's seriously a one-stop shop. It also has intelligent mapping of multicolor filaments and, yes, different materials. TPU has its own place of operation within this printer, so it's not an afterthought. It's just saving you from AMS clogs and other typical issues. The only caveat with TPU is it has to be used in the right nozzle at all times. This makes sense since the right nozzle is static, meaning only the left nozzle slides up and down while printing. Having a soft filament like TPU bunching and stretching in a moving nozzle can create some serious issues, as you can imagine. Since Bambu Lab is such a refined and popular company, they've had more time for filament profiles and accurate setting adjustments for all users. As for more than 2 color prints, you can load up your AMS and use it as normal, but the great thing about this printer is it calculates the amount of filament changes and factors in which nozzle combination will result in less waste. Now all you have to do is just load your AMS2 Pro with the recommended colors from the slicer and Bob's your uncle. There, I did it, the old Canadian phrase.
Yes, you can use your old AMS1 as well. You don't have to use their settings, but we do, and it performs extremely well. As for the AMS2 Pro that came with this combo, it is much faster than its predecessor, almost twice as fast. This AMS2 Pro also has a built-in heater for drying when not printing, but if you want this during printing, you can use a separate power adapter to do so. This printer is also great for using different support materials to assist with normal multicolor prints. Even though the print head itself is intimidating, they implemented quick swap nozzles for easy clog repairs. Overall, we just love this printer, and the build plate size allows for more multicolor products to maximize output for requests and market fairs. Now, one thing that we don't have yet for the H2D, but we eventually will, is you can upgrade it with a laser engraver and vinyl cutter. This allows for obvious future proofing if that's where the trends lead us.
Now back to the Snapmaker, there are a couple of things we're not too impressed with, and that's the front viewing angle. This design choice to not lengthen the door and or move the screen that doesn't tilt are slight misses in our opinion. If I had the printer higher, you still can't see through the door to watch your model. When we get the lid, reaching in to swipe away a stray anomaly will be a little bit more difficult, but at least the chamber temperature will be a bit more manageable for those tougher materials such as ABS. Another thing is there's no LAN port on either printer, and I wish they would all have them. My K2 Plus had a LAN port, and the speed increase and fast accessibility from being directly connected made for a much more enjoyable experience.
Now that you're better familiar with these printers, let's see some of the same prints and compare the quality, print time, and cost estimates.
This Cookie Dragon Egg from Flexi Forge, who we hold a commercial license, has 2 colors perfect for this example. Both printers are using a 0.4 nozzle with a 0.2 layer height, and both are also set for $20 per roll of filament. We didn't change any of the stock settings and simply dragged the model straight onto the build plate. We wanted the software to take care of the rest. The H2D calculated a cost of $134, using a total of 67.14 grams. That's 40.27 grams for the actual model and 26.87 grams for the tower. The Snapmaker U1 calculated a cost of $57.43, 40.77 grams for the model, and 16.66 grams for the tower, which is a lot less than the tower that the software chose for the H2D. As far as print time goes, the H2D calculates this at 3 hours and 59 minutes, where the U1 calculated at 3 hours and 11 minutes.
So these horses from Flexi Factory, they are our new favorite model. We think they're going to be very popular for market fairs. These we printed on the H2D. It is the dual nozzle printer, as you know, and so that makes it easier and more cost efficient to use the two colors. But what Sean's holding here, we printed on a single color, but it's a multicolor roll. And you can see here how perfect the variations print, because each of these parts print separately on the build plate. Now we printed the multiple color variations. These here were all printed on the Snapmaker U1. And to me, they all look fantastic. I mean, we've got the red, white, and blue here. We printed most of them in 3 colors because that's what the model does, but you can pop on a 4th color with the Snapmaker if you want.
Yeah, we even named some of them because we couldn't help ourselves. For the Snapmaker U1, of course, this one looks more so like the Iron Man, so I would consider this being Iron Man's horse.
And this is Smorse. He looks like a s'more, so
we went back
named
and
him
forth on
S'mores.
that one because I said that it looked like a war horse, so I could call it S'more Horse, but then she said just S'morse, so Mama wins.
And this one is Neon
No.
for neon.
That's so bad.
Comparing the print quality from the Snapmaker U1 and the H2D, they're very, very comparable. If I were to hand these to someone and ask them what printer they thought they came off of, I could guarantee you they would not be able to tell a difference.
We just got really lucky with this one, and it just looks absolutely perfect. It looks a heck of a lot more complex than it actually is, but it was one filament.
Looks very intentional with the way the neck breaks down like that. And we'll link all the filaments down below that we used just in case you're interested. Speaking of not being able to tell the difference, Sean brought these to me in my office and asked me which one was printed on which printer. And I looked in great detail and I could not tell just from the quality. So I took a guess because he drew on the bottom of one of them. And I guessed that that was the H2D and I was right. But as far as quality goes, you cannot tell a difference. They're both very, very great prints.
Yeah, we did use the same exact filament on both of those Orca, so there would be, the best chance for comparison, and 0 color bleed on each one of them because, of course, they were on separate nozzles. So you're always going to get that benefit.
And 0 waste. That's the most important, 0 waste.
I did have someone complain about, well, you keep saying 0 waste. Well, okay, there's 1 or 2 single purge poops, but as far as the prime tower, you're going to have that. Those of you who may still not understand, we're considering that no waste because it's necessary to have a clean print.
And it just helps with the quality of your print. So to us, that's not waste, that is efficiency.
Now let's talk cost. The Snapmaker U1 comes in at around $800 and the H2D at a whopping $1,800. That's a significant price difference, but when comparing size, quality, community, comfortability, ecosystem, automation, and parts availability, keep that in mind, the H2D will be with us for a long time. The same goes for the Snapmaker. It will also be with us for a long time, hopefully, and we're already waiting for our second printer. Having 2 to double the multicolor output for plates of minis and such for the same price as one H2D makes it very worthwhile. The H2D truly stands out amongst the best prosumer 3D printers in the world, and with the optional upgradability of lasers and cutters, the possibilities are greatly expanded.
So which one should you choose? If you want minimal waste, clean multicolor prints, and a unique head swap system that feels like magic, the Snapmaker U1 is a heck of a machine, especially when you run 2 of them for the price of one H2D.
But if you want power, speed, refinement, a massive ecosystem, and future expandability, the Bambu Lab H2D isn't just a printer. It's a production tool that grows with you.
At the end of the day, there's no wrong answer, just the right printer for you. Let us know in the comments which one you're leaning toward, what you print most, multicolor minis, large parts, functional parts, or cosplay, etc., and questions you want us to answer in future comparisons. Well, if this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. We've got more tests, comparisons, and real-world printing content coming your way. So thanks for watching and happy printing.